Hello friends, my name is Dante Ravioli and I have one question for you. Do you think it's possible to beat Resident Evil 2 without killing a single enemy? Sounds impossible, doesn't it? I know you have lots of questions like, what about the bosses? Or, how about that alligator in the sewers? Well, let's find out. Tell me in the comments below what you think, any questions you have about this run, and most importantly, give me suggestions for what challenges you would actually want to see. They have to be interesting and something you'd personally want to see a video about. And quickly before the video starts, I just want to thank everyone who watched the video, Can You Beat Resident Evil 2 Without Running? Which, if you missed it, it'll pop up for you at the end of this video. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. That video only had 1 view for 3 weeks, and it was probably for me, to over 500 views in under 24 hours. That video took over 12 hours for me to make, and I had thought that video was a failure. But you guys clearly loved it and showed it lots of support, so thank you for that. Alright, let's just jump into it. Can you beat Resident Evil 2 without killing a single enemy? So like last video, there's a few interesting areas that I want to talk about over the course of the run, and I want to bring up a few things I had to think about before starting the run. So first of all, there's 4 campaigns to choose from, so which one do I choose? I ended up choosing Claire's A campaign, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. The areas I'm going to be talking about are the gas station, narrow hallways in the RPD and sewers, the G's in the sewer, the Ivies in the lab, and all boss battles. There's a huge difference between standard and hardcore difficulty, unsurprisingly, but it might not be what you think. On standard difficulty, you can bait the zombies into a lunge and then run past them if you're fast enough. I pretty well mastered this and used it for my first playthrough of this challenge. And on hardcore, they lunge at you twice and they're super fast, so you have to be incredibly precise if you want to dodge them to the point that it's almost impossible. So you're probably thinking, okay Dante, so to get by the zombies without killing them, you just dodged them. Yes and no, let me explain. I first tried this challenge about a month ago on standard difficulty, but since my last video had only gotten 1 view at the time, I thought nobody cared, so I deleted my original footage. And after you guys showed me so much support on the last video, I thought I'd finally finish this one. So I went to record the footage again, which I thought would be easy since I had already done it before. Well, the game screwed me over. I started playing on standard difficulty, but I noticed the zombies acted different. They lunged at me twice and were faster than I remembered. Kind of like hardcore mode. Exactly like hardcore mode. I was really disappointed, but I just assumed they had patched it. But I was wrong, because I think it's a little random. Sometimes the zombies would lunge at me once, and other times they would lunge at me twice, and I'm not sure why. If anyone has an answer for me, let me know in the comments. All I know is that in my first playthrough a month ago, all zombies lunged once and I could easily run by them. Okay, so let's start with the gas station. How did I get past that first zombie without killing it? When he first starts standing, you can run right past him to go get the key. And this next part is important. Whether you're playing on assisted, standard, or hardcore difficulty, if you get bit at all in the gas station, once you get to Raccoon City, all of your health is back. So I just let the zombie bite me, which didn't take any health off of me for some reason, and I was ready to continue. Now we have the narrow hallways throughout the game, arguably the hardest part of this challenge. Sometimes there'd be 2 or 3 zombies in one hallway, making it incredibly difficult to get through them. But I did get through them. I either took a bite or 2 and used a health item, or I was lucky enough to do the little dodge move and they wouldn't lunge twice. I want to make it clear that I did not use a single bullet to stun or cripple a zombie because 1, I didn't want to risk killing them, and 2, I feel like that's kind of cheating in a way. The hardest area was probably the narrow sewer stair entrance. Again, my first playthrough was amazing and I dodged them all so perfectly without even getting a nibble. And I did get through this area again without a bite, but it doesn't look as cool as my first playthrough. Okay, so let's go back a bit here. We need to talk about the first Birkin fight. I know what you're thinking. Didn't you have to kill him to progress? And the answer is no, I didn't. I beat him to progress, but I didn't kill him. Resident Evil games have a theme where bosses keep coming back over and over and over again. So even though I beat him, I didn't kill him. I slipped by the lickers pretty easily using certain strategies that mostly just consisted of walking by them and staying far away from them. I even had this part where the licker was completely in my way, but all you have to do is get close enough to the licker so it notices you, leave the room and let the door close, and walk back in and both of the lickers will be on the wall instead. Thanks to Darkness for showing this in one of his videos. The dogs are very easy to get by, I just run diagonally back and forth. I've done this part many times and it's rare to get hurt by a dog. And Sherry's part is pretty self-explanatory. So right after this part comes an incredibly and surprisingly easy part, the G adults in the sewers. Like I said, I didn't want to shoot anything but bosses, so I had to bait the first G, which actually worked. I don't know what happened here or how I made it without getting hurt, but I'm not questioning it. Then I got to the king and queen room and I trapped a single zombie in the cage like a badass. Check it out.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
I failed to run by the G's unscathed, but somehow I didn't get poisoned when the G caught me. Again, I'm not questioning it. And finally, I just got on top of this ledge to dodge the final G. The part of the run I thought would be the most difficult was over, and so far we have 0 kills. Alright, so dodging the sewer zombies, the G coming out of the pipe, I grabbed the workpiece and immediately hauled it to the mini elevator. Most of the time the G doesn't come back, so all I did was dodge the sewer zombies and I was good to go. Again, we have another boss fight with Birkin, which as you know, doesn't end up killing him. So now we get to the lab. The only hard part of the lab is the IVs. Of course, if they grab you, it's an insta-kill, so I did have to bring a couple of flashbangs and map out my route very carefully. With my ninja-like skills, I was able to slip by most of them. But then there's the part with the liquors and the room full of zombies. Oh god. All I did here was bait the liquor in a circle, grab the machine thing, whatever you call it, and unsuccessfully used a flashbang. It still kind of worked, so I just ran. So easy peasy, lemon squeezy, I froze the vial and went on my way. But there was a big problem here. An Ivy was waiting for me on the stairs, and I did not want to use my flashbang. I stood there for a full minute wondering what to do, and I decided to just slowly walk up behind it, get as close as I could, and just run! You can be the judge at whether or not it worked. So now all we've got are the boss battles. Luckily, since I haven't killed a single thing so far, I have plenty of ammo and resources. A little bit too much, actually. Now, before we say a word about the bosses, it's time to talk about why I chose Claire's A campaign. Not only does Leon kill the alligator in his campaign, he also kills the tyrant. So that's 2 kills no matter what. That's unacceptable. There's not much difference between Claire's A and B campaign, except for the fact that you have 1 extra boss battle at the very end of Claire's B campaign. So obviously I want to get rid of that final boss battle. But because the game is created this way, this is extremely important. In any normal game, you kill the big boss at the end of the game and that's it. But Resident Evil 2 works a different way, where they want you to play the A and B campaigns before you get an epic conclusion and an end to the story. So I beat Birkin in his G3 state, then I finally beat him in his G4 state, beating the game. So you might be thinking, okay, you beat the game with 1 kill. No, I didn't. I beat the game with 0 kills. Birkin still has 1 final state to go into that you fight against in the B campaign, where yes, you finally kill him, but the A campaign ends before this point. So yes, I beat Resident Evil 2 without killing any enemies or bosses, although it's only possible playing on Claire's A campaign. I didn't think it was possible when I started this challenge, but luckily I was wrong. I've never felt more like a badass in my entire life. I'm sure you can do it on hardcore mode as well, but I don't feel like trying that anytime soon. Remember, if you guys have any more challenge video ideas, let me know in the comments below. I love doing these types of videos. Be sure to subscribe to me because I make a new gaming video every day or 2. Share this video and click the like button as it really helps out my channel. And if you missed the video, can you beat Resident Evil 2 without running? You can watch it right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.